Hello everyone, welcome to Level Change channel. My name is Claudio Fonseca. I'm a real Boeing pilot. Currently I fly the Boeing 777, but today for this simulator session here, I'm going to fly the 737 from Amsterdam to Paris, Charles de Gaulle. I have around 5,000 hours on this type of airplane in the real world, and I'm going to try to show you a couple of procedures that we have in real life, of course adapted to the Microsoft Flight Simulator as much as we can. Okay, so Edson Moura is already with us. It says, "Good day, Fonseca. Thank you so much, Edson, for being here." So let's jump inside our airplane first. So let me just make sure I'm with the right camera here. Yep, so okay. Now inside the Microsoft Flight Simulator, inside our airplane. And let's see here in the electronic flight bag if we can check our flight plan. Let's request data from the sim brief. So here it shows our airplane, our call sign is Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot. The alternate is undefined. I don't know why it's undefined. I have two alternates, and the shortest one today is London. It's London, I think. Yeah, let's check which alternate we have, but it's one airport in London. So we have a cost index 5. It's a 737-800. Our zero fuel weight is quite high today, 2,320 kilograms, and we have a flight of 243 miles. We were supposed to depart roughly 15 minutes ago. That's from my schedule, but I had a delay starting this broadcast, so here we are. And of course, then this arrival time is also not correct into Charles de Gaulle. So let's check our weather for departure. It says wind 250 at 17. It's always gusty in Amsterdam. It's always windy there. Visibility is good. Few clouds at 800. Ceiling is 4,200 broken. 10 degrees and altimeter 1021. For our arrival in Paris, 230 at 9, good visibility, overcast 700, temperature is 9, QNH 3031, and this ceiling that is right now overcast at 700 is turning into broken at 1200, so we are going to see most probably the airport from 1000 feet or something like that. Let's see if we have the flight plan. Yeah, here is the full flight plan. Expecting runway 24, departing Amsterdam. 27 right arrival in Paris. Our flight level is 270, and by position the NOx we start our descent to 230, and then we complete our arrival, which is so far Mopile 9 Juliet. Here you have all the summaries for our fuel and time. We basically need 5,800 kilograms of fuel, and down here, I'm sorry, I have to scroll from here, and down here we have our weights. So the estimate takeoff weight is 67.962 tons, so pretty much 68 tons is our estimated takeoff weight. And our landing weight is almost 66 tons, really close to maximum landing weight of 66361. Okay, I'm not going to go through the navigation log with you because I want to check the charts. Yes, that's what I need. So for departure here in Amsterdam, what is important for us is that let's see if it's runway 24. Yep, this is the approach to runway 24. We are going to depart actually from this runway. So airport, and let's go here on the departure pages. procedures, lost comms. I want to show you the procedures for noise abatement. Okay, still not there. As Murilo Soares is in the house, he says, good morning, Captain. Good morning, Murilo. So noise abatement procedure. The use of noise abatement takeoff and climb procedure NADP2 is recommended for all jet airplane. If for operational reasons compliance with NADP2 is not possible, NADP1 may be used. So today we are going to use NADP2, but we are simulating a company that has a minimum acceleration altitude of 1000 feet. So basically what we are going to do around 1000 feet, we are going to reduce the airplane body angle. We are going to start accelerating this airplane, and we are going to retract from flaps 15 to 5 or from 5 to 1. And once we are retracting this flap, then we are going to select climb thrust. Okay, so the reduction of thrust from takeoff thrust to climb thrust is going to happen during the flap retraction and not simultaneously at 1000 with deceleration. Okay, so let me show you, because I think we have a controller online. So let me change to this one. Let's see what you have. Yes, now you can see Ivao software, and we can come here on the D80s. Let's take from Amsterdam, and it says right now we have information delta. Okay, and it says departing runway 24. Okay, so yeah, that's departure runway 24 and transition out to this 3000 feet. Okay, that's what we need today. And okay, that's it. By the way, I'm going to select Amsterdam approach frequency, so we can start hearing Amsterdam approach. Okay, like now. Okay, good live and good flight. I'll have to leave here. See you later. See you, Murilo. Thank you so much. Okay, so as we were discussing here, we are going to depart runway 24, and the departure is supposed to be the departure is supposed to be Ciudad 3 Sierra. So let's try to find here. Ciudad 3 Sierra is a RNAV SID, which makes sense from runway 24. Yeah, it's RNAV SID. We can comply. So this 3 Sierra, I'm going to pin this chart. We are going to do a briefing about this chart later on. For the airport, we do need airport chart here in Amsterdam, so we can taxi out of here. And in case we need to come back, it was saying that our let me just add to you our okay, now you can hear ATC as well. So what I was doing again, I was going to check which runway we have for arrival, which is 18 right in Amsterdam. So just in case, we'll keep approach to runway 18 right here in hand. So runway 18 right, ILS 18 right. This is the one that we need to perform in case we need to come back. And for arrival in Paris, let's see the airport first. So this is the airport. If we land 27, which makes sense because we are coming from the north, this should be 27 right, the short one. So approach runway 27 right. Let's see here for 27 right, 27 left, 27 right. Okay, so this is the ILS. And our arrival is Mopil. Let me just check here a couple of transitions that we have. We are coming from, let's see on arrival, Mopil. Let's see the arrival first. It's going to be easier. Let's find Mopil. Mopil 9 Juliet. Let's see if that one makes sense. Okay, Mopil 9 Juliet for runways. Yeah, to Lorne and Quebec. Makes sense. And then on the approach, we are going to find the transition from Lorne. Okay, Lorne, so to runway 27 left. Okay, from Lorne to 7 left. This one makes sense as well. Why not this one, just to make sure? Yeah, this is not the one that we want. Okay, so we have that pin chart as well. On the airport, most probably we are going to which position? Parking stands on Terminal 1. I don't think we go to Terminal 1 with Ryanair airplanes. Actually, I don't think Ryanair flies there, but most probably go to Terminal 2. So I'm going to pin this chart as well, and we have pretty much all the charts that we need. Okay, starting from the airport here in Amsterdam. Okay, so that's a good start for today's flight. And here we go. So now we assume that the pilots just arrive at the airplane. As they just arrive at the airplane, they have to check the technical log to check if everything is good with the plane. Once everything is good, a couple of things that you can do. Let me just check here. So how is this broadcast? How this is going to look live? Yep. So as you can also notice on the video description, on this live description, you have 737 guide. Okay, so if you want to know how to use this one, this Boeing 737 PMDG, there is a very good guide for you, designed by myself. Okay, so we have everything connected to the plane now. The power up is already performed. We have a ground power connected. So one thing that I want to make sure is that our TCAS is standby. Yes, it is. And as it is standby, we are going to do the preliminary pre-flight. So technical log is checked. We check the light. Let's check for the hydraulic, for oil quantity. So oil quantity on the engines is 95 and 96. The hydraulic quantity here on the system is 92 and 92. The brake pressure is quite low, so we can jump on the overhead. We can turn the hydraulic system B pump just to pressurize the brake, so in case we remove the shocks and we use parking brake, it is there. Okay, so electrical is hydraulic is checked, and the oxygen up here is also checked. At this point we can turn our inertials to nav, and we can set our emergency exit lights. We already initiate our EFB, but something that I'm going to do as well is to set the parking brake. Okay, here we go. Parking brake set, and I got the weather information, but I also want to check my performance for today. So we go on performance 2. We are going to import this from OFP, which is basically runway I'm always zooming in and out when I have to select a pop-up here. It doesn't work. So runway 24. Let's import from the OFP the information that we have. So 68,000 is our weight. Okay, 68,000 is our weight. And we are going to use a CG of 15 just for calculation. Packs on, anti-ice off, rating optimum. And the weather, let's calculate to check if we can do, yeah, we can do this takeoff even with flaps 5 and select temperature of 51. So very good for our flight. For the landing dispatch, we are going to land so far on runway 27 right. We can do the calculation for the landing dispatch with flaps 40 if we need. And let's see our weight. It's maximum landing weight 66,361. So we are good to go. Performance is good for us. So at this time, one pilot goes to do the walk around and the other pilot is going to work on the FMC. So on the FMC here, we have the correct airplane, we have the correct engine, and our database active is valid. So we are departing Amsterdam, and oops, I missed the A. It's Echo Hotel Alpha Mike, and then we are going to use the GPS as our inertial position. On the route, we are departing Amsterdam, but we are going to request the flight plan from our database. Okay, so I'm going to set payload. Okay, I'm going to set the fuel from here. Okay, all set. And I'm going to select this route. Okay, so we are requesting the route right now. Okay, the uplink is ready. We can load this route. So Amsterdam, Paris, Ryanair 5, Charlie Foxtrot. The route uplink is being loading to the airplane. So now we can check our route. Woody, November 8, 72, Denox, Upper Zulu 319 to Mopil. That's what we want. We can activate and execute this one. Departure, so far we know it's going to be runway 24 and the departure is Cuda 3 Sierra. Is that correct? Let's just check here on our perform electronic flight bag. Go for the charts. SID Cuda 3 Sierra. Yep, that's the one that we were. What happened? Cuda 3 Sierra. Yep, here we go. That's the one. It goes all the way to Woody. Okay, so Cuda 3 Sierra. We can execute, go to the legs page and make sure that everything is there. Basically 005, 003, 004. Leco, Cuda and Woody. And 220 knots at 003. Let's make sure that's our departure. 005. 220 up to 003, 004, Leco, Cuda and Woody. Okay, that's the one. Transition altitude is 3,000 feet. Very nice, 3,000 feet. The initial climb clearance is flight level 60. Okay, so here we go. Also on the departure, on the arrival, we are going to land on runway 27 right, most probably. The arrival is, one more time, now we go for the arrival, Mopil 9 Juliet. So Mopil 9 Juliet, and our transition is on approach. Oh, I didn't pin the approach charts in Paris, so my mistake. runway 27 right. We go the ILS. I have to pin this one, and the approach I have to pin, which is Lorny 6 Whiskey. Okay, now it's there. So Lorny 6 Whiskey makes sense. We execute and we go to the next page and quick check. So these arrivals, Sisga, Quebec, and then Lorny. Why we don't have anything from Quebec? So oh, this is Mopil 9 Juliet. We want Mopil 9 Whiskey. Yeah, Mopil 9 Whiskey. Okay, so let's go again. Archer arrival is the same ILS. Lorn 6 Whiskey, but the arrival is Mopil 9 Whiskey. And now we can go to the legs page, and we know that we have from Mopil the arrival all the way to Lorny, and then runway 27 right is there, including our missed approach. Okay, so our route is complete. Performance, we can also request performance from the sim brief. Leandro Polidoro. Bom dia, comandante. Surpresa agradável desta manhã. Thank you, Leandro. Obrigado por estar aí também. Fazendo um voozinho aqui em inglês para a galera entre Amsterdã e Paris. Espero que você continue aí na live com a gente. Espero que você consiga entender. Qualquer dúvida, manda aí em português que a gente conversa sem problema nenhum em português também. Okay, so I was just talking to Leandro, and now we are going to load our performance, and we have to cross-check. Cost index is 5, reserve 3.3, zero fuel weight 62.3 makes sense. The altitude is 280, it's very nice. Transition out to 3000, that's amazing. I just want to make sure that this is the altitude that we have on the flight plan. Planet is 230, yeah. So, sorry, 27, but it should be 28 going this direction. I will set as the flight plan. Most probably sim brief is correct, and we check it later on. So N1 limit, we are going to do this later on. Okay, so as we have FMC ready, the first officer is coming back from the exterior inspection, so he's going to do the preliminary pre-flight. All correct from now. I just turned the yacht dumper on. This switch goes to on. It's only a chime on this airplane. Window heat, we have to turn them on. And Tremere is on. We don't have the APU for now, so APU bleed can stay off. We are going to fly 270. And Paris altitude. Paris altitude. Let's check Paris altitude. Airport in Paris. No, this is Schiphol. Yeah. Now we are in Paris. 392, so roughly 400 feet is our altitude in Paris for landing. First flight of the day, we always do the right ignition, and as we come to the MCP, well, going here from the captain side, oxygen is tested, all good. So now we can turn the traffic on, we can adjust the altimeter, it's 1021 right now. Minimum zoom here, 5 mile zoom, and I want to see airports only. So flight directors on, auto throttle on. Initial course, initial heading is 235. So we can do on the course 235. I'm going to set on both sides with my controller here. 235 on the course. Speed we still don't know, but we know that's the same heading for departure, so heading will be 235 as well so far, if they don't change the departure runway. And initial altitude, there is no, there is an altitude constraint of 6,000 feet, so 6,000 feet is set. On the first officer side, we are going to do the same thing with the oxygen. We are going to set here traffic, airports, flight director is already on, QNH 1021. Then we have auto brake RTO. We already checked the engines. We have auto throttle armed on both sides, flight director is on, altitude is correct, and heading is correct. Okay, coming down here, we can select something for departure. Do we have any VOR here close to, let's see if we have, how we do this, how I go to my, maybe here, I want to see high IFR, which makes sense. Oops. And we are going to zoom in. So Amsterdam is 113.95. That's what I was looking for. 113.95. 113.95. That's the VOR frequency in Amsterdam. 113.95. That's all correct. From this point, we can do the pre-flight checklist. Okay, so pre-flight checklist, I'm going to take it from PMDG. So our pre-flight checklist states that oxygen were tested with 100%, navigation transfers way switches, they are normal and auto, window height is on, pressurization mode selector auto, flight instruments heading 001, altimeter 1021, parking brake is set, engine start levers are cut off, and pre-flight checklist procedure. The next one, we go to the before start checklist. Okay, so now we need ATC clearance for our flight. Leandro says that in English is even better because he's going to practice his English, and he already started his studies as we had talked before. He's thinking about the Brazil Civil Aviation test, and it said that I helped him to clear his mind when he started. Thank you so much for this message, Leandro. It's my pleasure. Okay, so now let's go to take ATC clearance. For the ATC clearance, I like to keep the departure or the route page here, so we can see the departure as well. Okay, so let's talk to ATC. Amsterdam, hello, Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot information Delta. Amsterdam, hello, Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot. Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot is a 737-800 at Delta 54, information Delta, request ATC clearance to Paris Charles de Gaulle. Can you please only repeat the squawk code for Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot? Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot, clear to destination Paris Charles de Gaulle, CUDA 3 Sierra departure, runway 24, initial altitude level 60, squawk 2102. Okay, so we got it correct. We just missed the squawk, but he gave us everything again. So the only difference here is 2102 on the squawk. So what we have here, we have a clearance to Paris Charles de Gaulle, runway 24, CUDA 3 Sierra, initial altitude is flight level 60 and squawk 2102. So everything is correct right now. Okay, so let's do a short briefing on this departure here as we go with our taxi in Amsterdam to go. Oops, once again my zooming is incorrect, so let's take here the chart. We are going to depart runway 24, which is really close by here. So yeah, a little bit more of zoom, we can see the details here. So most probably we are going to taxi out via Alpha 9, and then we take Alpha take us to Sierra 7, and then we depart runway 24 from Sierra 7. It says heading 237, that's the only thing we have to change there. On the SID, straightforward, we have a fly over point at Alpha Mike 005, and then 220 knots until 003. We climb after departure to initial flight level 60. Okay, so that's what we have. So heading is 237. Okay, heading is set. Now we receive everything that we need for our flight. So by the way, as we are getting close to our start, I'm going to start our APU. Okay, so APU is starting right now, and we are going to set our performance. So with our performance, I go back to our electronic flight bag performance 2. It didn't change anything from our departure. The only thing I'm going to change is the wind, because I'm not going to consider all the wind, so I'm going to set wind at 5, and I hope it understands at 5. Yeah, it doesn't understand at 5 headwind, so 230, which is the current heading for the wind, at 5. Okay, and now we can calculate, and we have acceleration height 1000, flap 5, takeoff select temperature 51, V1 143, VR 144, V2 148, and VREF 30 151. We need to add this to our FMC. While Leandro say, why is Ryanair so underrated? I always see this on social media. Actually, it's because Ryanair is a low-cost airline, and usually people, they don't like this kind of airlines. They want to pay a low cost, they want to pay a low fare, and they want the full service. Okay, so actually that's what happened. And then of course you cannot have both. Okay, that's life. Okay, so, and a lot of people complain about the Ryanair landings. Maybe we do one today. Let's see. Hello Claudio, how are you? Hey Aymar, I'm very good for today. trying to do this flight here from Amsterdam to Paris. This is the first flight of the year on the Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm out of live stream for the past month or so, so things are going a little bit slow here today. As many of you know, I'm not flying the 737 in real life. In real life, I'm flying the 777, so we have to adapt and try to remember the procedures from the 73 a little bit, which I think it's nice. Okay, it's a nice challenge for me. So now, as we go to our takeoff page, we are going to depart with takeoff thrust, but the select temperature is 51. Whoops. I want 10, which is the outside temperature. Okay, this is 10, and the select temperature is 51. 51, we have a reduced N1 of 91.7. Takeoff flaps is going to be 5. The CG we are going to take from the airplane, which is today 19, and the speeds that we have is 43, 44, and 48. So 143. 143, 144, and 148. Okay, makes sense. Next page. So our acceleration is going to be at 1000. Okay, we are going to reduce thrust manually as soon as we select flaps 1. So, but no after 3000 feet, so I'm changing the reduction to 3000 feet. If we reach 3000 feet and we're still not with the flaps 1, then the airplane reduces automatically. So this one we have here legs page on the right side, and 148 is the V2, so I'm going to select V2 of 148, and as we have everything now, I can select LNAV, I can select VNAV. Everything is good for our departure. LNAV and VNAV, it's armed on our FMA. Okay, so here we go. Now that I have APU, I can select APU. We can turn one fuel pump on, and I can also dismiss the external power. Okay, so additional services, actually I don't need to do here. I can come on our FMC menu, FS actions, ground service. I can release the ground power. I can ask SimBrief to prepare for pushback and departure. Okay, so it's removing everything. Let's see outside how it is. Yeah, we just need to close the doors. So doors, we close this one.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Okay, that's very nice from you. So let's prepare the airplane for pushback. Fuel pumps, seat belts, hydraulic panel. Now we have APU lead.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
And transponder to transponder. I only miss here anti-collision light is also on, so I can go to the checklist. So it says before start checklist, flight deck door is closed and locked. Fuel we have 5,800 kilograms pumps on, passenger signs on, windows locked, MCP V2148 heading 237, altitude flight level 60. Speeds is V1143, VR144, V2148. CDU pre-flight is completed, rudder and aileron trim is free and 0. I'm just going to set our trim here as 5.7. So let's do it here, 5.7. going to be nose right, tail left, yes. So 5.7. So running an island 3 and 0, taxi and takeoff briefing completed and collision light is on for start checklist is complete. Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot request push and start. Push and start, 5 Charlie Foxtrot. One 0 to 1 start and push approved. Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot. Okay, so as we go, no, I don't want to interrupt pushback. I'm just going to release the brakes. Remove the shocks as well.
Brakes, please. All engines clear.
All
Start
engines
the field.
clear. Okay, so we are going to start right engine. And here we go. Thiago Bittencourt, a flight this time, yes, yes, right now. 1:30 p.m. in the Middle East. Okay, we have 25% N1. We can release the fuel control switches to idle, and we keep monitoring. N1 EGT, fuel flow, N2 oil pressure, oil temperature, oil quantity and vibration. At 56% N2 we are going to have the starter cut out. Starter cut out and almost finishing the engine start. Engine start right is complete, so now we are going to start engine number 1.
Please set parking brakes.
Okay, let's look to the side. The airplane is not moving, so we can set parking brakes. We take the brakes and the parking brake lever, yep.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
So as we want to expedite this process, we are going to confirm a good engine start right now.
We have a good engine start. Please disconnect.
Yep, here we go. We can go back here in the FMC and select legs page to the FO. So at 56% N2, the starter gets out. The start valve open is going to disappear.
Unlocking gear.
And our start is complete once the red line disappears. So Captain asked for flaps for departure today, which is flaps 5. And the FO can start the before taxi procedure by taking the generators to on.
Bypass being removed.
Probe heat is in auto in this airplane.
Left is
Packs
clear. Right is
auto,
clear.
isolation auto, APU bleed off, APU off, engine start switch. Oh, I can do here on my sim to continuous. Yep. And recall is checked. Remove engine and flight controls from the captain. Thank you. See you. Air Europa is coming. And before taxi checklist. So before taxi checklist, generators on, probe heat is auto, anti-ice off, isolation valve auto, engine start switch continues, recall checked, auto brake is RTO, Engine start levers idle detent, flight controls checked, and ground equipment, they just moved, so we are clear to start. I'm going to remove my camera here so you can see the flight in full. Okay. Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot ready to taxi. We have error open sight. Taxi holding point 07 runway 24. The 737 is already parked. Thank you. So, taxi light on. Brakes released. And here we go. So we are going to taxi via Alpha, the standard taxi here in So we are with 8 knots right now. Good enough for this turn. And here we'll have Sierra 7. So let's assume the cabin is ready. I'm taking the weather on this side, even though it doesn't do anything. On FL side we are going to use terrain. This is Sierra 7 straight ahead. Clear for takeoff runway 24. Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot. Okay, so one thing that I have to do here is to set transponder TA array. We have to do the before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist, it says flap 5 green light, stabilizer trim 5.7 units. Before takeoff checklist is complete. Landing lights, turn off lights, and strobo lights. Let's see if everything is correct. Yep, everything is correct. And here we go. Lining up for this takeoff. So 40%. It is aligned. Toga, N1 Toga. Checked. My rudder is very sensitive. I have to adjust this.
E1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. LNAV. And we are going to fly manually a little bit. VNAV speed. Airplane starts accelerating to 220 knots, which is our initial constraint. So let's set flaps to 1, and as we set flaps to 1 we can set our climb thrust by selecting N1, and then it changed to climb thrust. Now we can already retract flaps to up, and as we approach 220 knots we have to pitch up again to maintain 220 knots. And here is our initial turn. With this transition we can set altimeters to standard. As I'm flying alone, I'm not really worried about the after takeoff checklist right now. Autopilot. Qatari 5 Charlie Foxtrot. Direct, we understood November India Kilo and level 270. Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot, thank you. So, oops, sneaky, it goes to the first page. And altitude is flight level 130. So flight level 130. And 1 VNAV speed. Here we go. All set. So after takeoff checklist we do auto brake off, landing gear up and off. So we check packs are on, blades on, engine start switches go back to auto, landing gear up and off, flap up no lights, and auto brake is off. So we can do the after takeoff checklist, which states for engine blades on, packs auto, landing gear up and off, flap up no light, after takeoff checklist complete. Thank you so much, Amsterdam. See you. Bye bye. So we were clear to go 122.8 now. So that's the frequency that we have to use. 122.8 as we continue our climb here. FMC says enable 280 at Mopil because most probably our descent speed is below 280, so we are going to change 65/280, and that is going to give us 280 at least at that point. So we are still climbing. Now we are on the Unicom, so we can continue our climb for at level 270. So altitude 270 is set. Enable 280 knots at Mopil again. Why? So let's check here on the legs page. Oh, it says 260 or below because of the descent speed with this Mach is not enough. So what we are going to do, we are going to set only 280 at the descent. Let's see what is Mach 65 on the climb, okay? And then we work with this speed at Mopil. Here we go. What else can we do right now? We can check 80s in Paris. There is Paris approach. I'm going to show you right now what is there in Paris. So why is not showing? Let me try again. I don't know why it's not showing to you guys, so I'm going to go back to the sim and I'm going to read the information for you. It says information Foxtrot. Okay, it's arriving runway 27 right and 26 left. Transition level is 60 and the wind is 250 at 11. 8 kilometers, light drizzle, few clouds 500, broken 800, overcast 1500, 9 degrees. So we have headwinds for arrival. 1031 is the altimeter and flight level 60 is the transition. So we come here on the descent page. Forecast flight level 60 is there. We can request descent winds. I didn't do it before. Anyway, we can do it now. The descent uplink is ready, so we load. We have the descent winds. ISA deviation is 3 and we have altimeter 1031. There is a chance that we are going to use engine anti-ice. We'll see it later on. Unable 280 at Mopil, not a big deal. So temperature is 1. We are out of clouds, so we don't need anti-ice for now, which is good. Okay, we already crossed 10,000. I can turn off the lights, the external lights, and also seat belts now can go to auto, as we are not going to face any turbulence. So we only have a Paris approach, frequency is 125830 and 80s is 12713. Okay, we can do like this. Let me show you. On this 12713, so we can hear the 80s later on. And Paris will be 125830. So later on we can call Paris as well. Let's increase our range. Usually pilot monitoring is doing it as well. I will keep only on 20 here. It's not a big deal today. I'm going to use pretty much our left navigation display for our flight. Okay, something that we can do, as this is a short flight, we can select the landing route, runway 27 right. The weight we can import the current one from the airplane, so we are going to be 65. What's our landing weight? Just a minute, let me check one more time. Let me see. We are going to be landing with 3.7, which is 900 less, so 66 tons. It's our landing weight actually. 66 tons, most probably flaps 30. We are going to check this. So 66 tons and flaps 30. 66 tons, flaps 30, packs on, anti-ice off. No credit for the reverses. I will try brake 2. No normal, and let's try to calculate. This goes, it gives us a margin of 500 meters, and this includes 15% more, so I'm happy with brake 2. Let's only see, just in case, break 3. 1730. Makes more sense. So we can do break 3. And just to confirm the speed, 154, which matches 149 plus 5, 154. Okay, as we calculated, so we are going to use break 3 for this approach. And the frequency is 110.35. So 110.35 for the ILS. 11035 we can already select because we are using our GPS to navigate. 110.35 and the course is 264. We are leveling off at flight level 270 and the course is 264. AFM speed, LNAV and VNAV path. We are 71 miles to top of descent, which is 10 minutes from now on. We already know our performance and we can go to the charts and we can think about our procedure and our missed approach. So on the approach, ILS 27 right. What is important for us, we already have frequency 110.35, final approach course 264. We cross 14.5 miles at 5,000. We go down to DH of 592, so we have to set 592. Airport elevation is 392 and missed approach straight ahead to 5,000. We go 651. Then we continue on track 281 to Papa Golf 652. Then to Papa Oscar November, maximum 5,000 feet. So 5,000 feet is our missed approach and we need to set our minimums of 592. So let's go and do this 592 here on the minimas. Whoops. Zooming in and out again. So 592. Almost there. 592 is our bottom minimums on both sides, and the QNH will be 1031. I'm pre-selecting 1031 here. 1031, and this is standard again. Oops, I was not supposed to change. This stays on standard. Yes. Because it's linked with this one. Yeah, okay, I got it. So we maintain 270. This is something that of course in the real airplane is not linked. I did it to facilitate my process of flying here. How often do you have to dodge CBs in real life? Well, that depends on which part of the world we are flying actually. I have to tell you that if you are flying in the north region of Brazil, it's quite common. If you are flying over India and the Atlantic Ocean, it's quite common as well. And any other place during summer. Okay, so I'll say that over India, over the Amazon forest in Brazil, it's the whole year, anytime it can happen. And apart from this, usually when it's summer. So right now we are deviating a lot of CBs in Australia, we are deviating a lot of CBs in Indonesia, and also to the close to the equator line as well, and really soon we are going to start deviating from CBs over Europe. So far it's still very cold over Europe, but around May and June things starts to change, and then we are going to have high temperatures and more chances of CBs around. Okay, I think we are almost done. Let me try to fly around a little bit here. Yeah, beautiful Ryanair 737. So we already have the frequencies, we already have the flap settings for our landing, we already have the speeds, we also briefed the approach. So what we can do now, we can do our recall, no problems with the airplane, and we can do our descent checklist. So yeah, we do this descent checklist before the descent. So pressurization, landing altitude is 400 feet, recall is checked, auto brake is 3, landing data VRF 30149 and minimums 592. Approach briefing is complete, and look how PMDG wrote briefing here. So they mess up with A and E. It's not briefing, it's briefing. Briefing, okay? So approach briefing is complete. As we keep turning, I'm going to keep always the heading bug matching our current heading. Okay, Paris is not online anymore, so most probably we are going to continue on Unicom frequency 122.8 for our descent, which is supposed to be in 38 miles from now. Okay, so to comply with the speed at Mobile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change our cruise speed to 280. Okay, I'm going to execute this 280 and the descent 0 only. Okay, let's see what is the speed that we have in Mach that is going to match 280. So we can fix this enable 280 at Mobile. Okay, so this is Mach, we are going to reach 68, 69, Mach 70, so I will set 0.70 slash 280 as our descent speed, because we have a minimum speed of 280, actually not minimum, at 280 knots at Mobile, so now we don't have that message anymore. I hope you understood what was going on. The thing is, on this arrival here in Paris, we have a restriction to maintain maximum, actually it's maximum 280 at Mobile, so it's not a big deal, it's maximum 280, my mistake is not at 280, so we can come back to our FMC and we can revert to econ, descent we can revert to econ, and on the legs page we can update here, because it's 280 or below on the speed, and altitude is 260 or below. So now that we change and we say that the maximum 280 is not a problem for us, and here we have the correct arrival now. So maximum 280, below flight level 260, and then Shedham, Vacos, Enori, Devin, maximum 250 knots, flight level 130 or below, and then we cross Lorne between 130 and 70. From Lorne we are going to fly to Papa Golf 520 on the heading 208, and then we maintain this heading 208 to intercept the ILS runway 27 right in Paris, Charles de Gaulle. By the time that we land in Paris on 27 right, we are going to vacate Zulu 3, Kilo 3, Delta 6, and then most probably via Delta, and then south on November we come along all this way to position Golf 3. Actually Golf 3 is way out, so we need to take the northern one, Echo, and join from Echo via then the standard line. We can even try to park here 806 or 808. Okay, so that's it, and Yeah, arrival by no, this is the other side. Yep, that's the way. Okay, so Zulu 3, Kilo 3, Delta 6, and then Bravo. We take Bravo, second to the left on Bravo, and we taxi on Bravo until we reach November, and then November left on Echo. Okay, that's our plan for today. So we are close to top of descent. I'm going to broadcast this on the Unicom frequency, as we have our second member here, Marcos Espinola, saying bom dia Marcos, tudo bem? Obrigado pela presença. So let's reset our altitude. Flight level 130 is first restriction, so altitude we bring it down to 130. Altitude 130 set. Paris traffic LM5, Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot inbound Charles de Gaulle. We are leaving 270 on the Mopil arrival to runway 27 right. So here we go, retard. We are still on path. What else we have here? Just to make sure there is no ATC in Paris, so we continue on the Unicom frequency. Let's see if we are going to need any anti-ice, maybe later on. If we reach those clouds before the TAT reaches +10, we are going to need engine anti-ice. And I think that's, yeah. So to take our engine anti-ice, first thing that we need to do is to set our engine start switches to continuous, and once we have engine start switches in continuous, we can turn on the engine anti-ice. Okay, so we are going to have engine anti-ice for this descent here. Good morning, Captain, says Bruno Lima, our third and one of the oldest members of this channel. Bruno, thank you for your support. Good morning, bom dia, Bruno. Obrigado pela presença. Primeira live aí de 2024 entre Amsterdã e Paris. Obrigado mais uma vez pela presença aí, Bruno, pelo apoio de sempre. So here we are descending level 247 down to 130 towards Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport. Expecting to land runway 27 right. Everything looks fine for now. Our engine anti-ice is on, as we are going to hit some clouds really soon. So the engine is already prepared for this, and we have an FMC message that says enable 250 knots at Devon. I think this Devon is also a maximum speed. Let's check Devon again. Yeah, Devon is maximum 250, so we can go on the legs page here and confirm that it's 250 or below on the speed. Oh, it is 250 or below. Why is not taking 250 or below and 130 or below? Oh, because the next one is also 250, so we have to change first this one and then this one. Here we go, 250 or below, which now matches maximum 250 at Devon. And then from the approach, if we take the initial chart here, it says maximum 250 knots as well. So we can zoom in and you are going to see maximum 250 knots. So it's not at 250, it's maximum 250. We change again just to comply with all the restrictions. Okay, so here we are. We have a tower now in Orly, which is not the case. So Bruno Lima says, thank you for the videos. I'm going to watch today the Arnav from above on the 777. That one was a really nice video, even though I'm still using, of course, the PMDG on the Prepare 3D for the 777. And he's expecting the launch of PMDG Boeing 777, which is almost done for the flight simulator. Yeah, we all are waiting for the 777, especially me, because I was really impressed with the PMDG 777 on Prepare 3D. I even use, and I still use it for my real training. So if I want to check something especially related to failure on the airplane, I use the PMDG 777 to check those things, because as you can understand, we cannot do a lot of troubleshooting on the real airplane with passengers on board for safety reasons, as you can imagine. So I use the PMDG 777 in the Prepare 3D, and it's really nice. Most of the failures, they look like the airplane, so it's really nice to train on normals on the PMDG. So I hope I can do it the same here on the Microsoft Flight Simulator. And yeah, it's almost there. It's coming really soon. We got some preview from the flight deck. It looks amazing, and I hope I can use the same machine. So if they can do a 777 with the same performance as the 73, would be really amazing. So here we are descending, no traffic around. I'm going to select the VST on the FO side and reduce the range so it doesn't take so much memory from my computer to run all of this. So the problem in Paris, not a problem in Paris, but something that can be a threat for the approach in Paris, is that the transition level is quite low compared to the United States or most of the places in Asia. So this transition altitude at 6,000, it's going to prevent us from selecting the QNH before we pass the flight level 70 restriction, and because we cannot set the local altimeter setting, we cannot do the approach checklist. So we are going most probably to do the approach checklist as we are really close to the runway, most probably close to configure the airplane, so we don't want to rush at this stage, but that's the way it is designed in most of the places in Europe, so we have to deal with that and wait to do the approach checklist. While on the United States, for example, at this time we would be already flying with the local altimeter setting, and the approach checklist will be completed by this time. Diego Ferreira, he says, good morning from Brazil, I'm here. I cannot activate the legend. I'm going to talk to Diego in Portuguese to explain the situation. Diego, você não conseguiu ativar porque na verdade eu estou ao vivo, então o YouTube não consegue fazer essa tradução ao vivo, tá? O que vai acontecer é que daqui uns dias ele vai processar esse vídeo aqui e aí vai criar legendas automáticas, e quando ele cria essas legendas automáticas, você pode daí fazer essa tradução aí para o português do Brasil, tá? Mas como eu estou ao vivo, não acontece. Se eu tivesse num vídeo gravado, possivelmente já teria aí a legenda para você, mas como eu estou num vídeo ao vivo, isso não acontece, beleza? Então Se você tem alguma dificuldade com o inglês, Diego, aí eu recomendo que volte nesse vídeo daqui uns 2 ou 3 dias, que aí você vai poder acompanhar essa live aqui com a tradução. Beleza? Obrigado pela presença de qualquer maneira, Diego. Obrigado pelas mensagens também nos vídeos que eu tô fazendo em português lá sobre os supernoites. Hoje sai mais um vídeo que eu acabei gravando ontem, beleza? So that's it, we are inbound Charles de Gaulle, descending flight level 130. We need to cross Devon 130 or below. And once we cross 130 or below, actually we can already select Lorne at flight level 70 because this is the lowest constraint that we have on the descent. So on the descent we always set the lowest constraint that we have ahead of us, and on the climb, on the departure, we set the highest constraint that we have ahead of us, so the airplane doesn't infringe these restrictions. So it will keep going down even below 130 now, because the 130 is maximum altitude, okay, and minimum altitude is flight level 70 over Lorne. Obrigado você, Diego, pela presença aí. So we are turning again. And here we go, we keep going down. We never reach those clouds. They are lower than I was expecting. When I was seeing before, it looked so close to our airplane. But here we are going to hit those clouds really soon. Engine anti-ice is already on. As we approach those clouds, we can tell the cabin crew prepare for landing, and we can take the seat belts on, as they have now this time before we reach those clouds, to prepare the cabin for the approach. Okay, even before 10,000, because most probably below 10,000 is going to be a little bit bumpy because of the weather around Paris. So in this case, I set it the seatbelt on early, and I gave them the PA, cabin crew prepare for landing a little bit early because of the weather on the arrival path. So here we are, 12,000 feet. In preparation for this landing, I can already set my landing lights to on, turn off to on, taxi lights to on. Engine start switches most probably will be in continuous all the way, because once I take the engine anti-ice off, most probably we are going to be really close to the approach, so there is no need to turn them off and then a few seconds later turn them on again. As there is no ATC here on the FMC, instead of vectors after 520, because there will be nobody to vector us, I'm going to sequence GISO after Papago 520. So usually we maintain the magenta heading here, waiting for a clearance to turn right to go to the ILS. As we do not have ATC today from Papago 520, I'm going to fly direct to GISO, which is the initial approach fix for runway, sorry, this intermediate fix for runway 27 right. Okay, I'm going to execute this one. And we are on the path right now, so heading bug again on our current heading, and I bring this back to the descent. Here we go, almost on those clouds as we are about to reach 10,000 feet. So now minimum altitude is 5,000 over Gizu, so we can go 5,000. 5,000, it's an altitude. We do not have any level restriction now, so we can change to 1031. Okay, so this is 1031, and we can do our approach checklist, which states for approach checklist altimeters 1031 is set. Approach checklist complete. Here we go. You can see beautiful countryside of France. As the airplane keeps going down towards 5,000 now. So let's see what's going on. We are passing 10,600 feet high. This is because of the QNH. The QNH is quite high today. So from 1031 to 1013 that we were flying before, that means 21 minus 3 is 18 hectopascal. So 18 hectopascal times 30 feet, because each hectopascal is halfway 30 feet. So 18 times 30. If we do 20 times 30, this is 600 minus 60, so 540 feet high, just because of the altimeter setting. But we are going to catch the profile, don't worry. Our TAT is above 10, so we do not need the engine anti-ice. Engine start switch is going to stay in continuous, as we are already approaching our final. So here we go, we keep going down. It's on VNAV speed. Really soon we are going to reach the path here. The airplane is going to revert back to VNAV path, which is the best way to capture the glide slope on this type of approach that we have a constant descent to the final. We are still waiting for the ILS identification 110.35. Just want to make sure that is the same one that we have on the FMC, on the 11035. Yeah, it's the same one on the chart, it's the same one on the FMC, it's the same one in real life and in the Microsoft Flight Simulator. So here we are, waiting for the identification. We are still far away. Here we go. And we need to maintain 5,000 and intercept the glide slope from 5,000. Around 150 feet, the VNAV speed reverts to VNAV path. So we have 50 feet to go, 40 feet to go, 30 feet to go, 20 feet to go, 10 feet to go, 150 feet, and we have FMC speed, VNAV path. Okay, so now we are in path, and as we approach the decel here, the airplane is going to start reducing for this approach. So we are going to see the speed moving from 240 down all the way close to flap up, and then I'm going to select flaps 1. As I select flaps 1, the speed reduces to flap 1 speed, and so on until we reach flaps 30 speed. Or we intercept the glide slope, and then if we intercept the glide slope, the speed window opens and we control the speed from the autopilot. Okay, so now it's reducing to 36. As you can see, start to reduce around 225 knots today. Because we are heavy, I'm going to extend the flaps to 1 to help the airplane to continue this speed reduction. So here we are. Now we have Papa November Whiskey. The ILS is identified. I'm going to arm the approach mode. Well, as you can see now, localizer and glide slope is armed, and I'm going to select flaps 1. Charles de Gaulle traffic, Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot. We are intercepting 16 mile final runway 27 right. It's in VNAV speed for no reason, but it's not a big deal. The airplane is descending nicely to 5,000. As you can see, glide slope is slightly above, which is good for us. We can even set flaps 5. As we set flaps 5, the speed reduced to flaps 5. It says drag required. I don't believe it. It says MCP, localizer and glide slope capture. So we are all good for now, descending on the glide slope. So 5,000 is the missed approach altitude, and the final heading is 264. And we just see the airplane gliding towards the runway now. Not much to do. Later on, we can select gear down, flaps 15, arm the speed brake, then flaps 30, and we are ready to go. So as you can see, the airplane is just adding a little bit of thrust to maintain the speed. It's minimum thrust as we are on the glide slope with flaps 5. You will see that will vary between 50 to idle. You rarely need more than 50, and even though today we have 22 knots headwind, so even with a good headwind, you are really close to idle thrust if you descend like this. Can even give you some outside view as we are completely stable, no need to rush. Approaching Paris Charles de Gaulle. It's worth noting that most of the runways in Microsoft Flight Simulator, they have some issues with the glide slope and the puppies on the side of the runway. Usually they are not coincident like most of the times in real life. In real life, yeah, sometimes we do have this. It's not a problem, but this kind of configuration. But on the Microsoft Flight Simulator, this is a problem, okay? So it was supposed to be corrected long ago, but I don't know why. Most of the glide slope, they do not match the puppy. So not a big deal. We are going to deal with this. We are passing 4,000 feet. Paris altitude is 400 feet, so we are roughly 3,600 above airport elevation. 10 miles to the runway now. There is traffic, Charles de Gaulle, Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot, 10 mile final runway 27 right. Here we are, easy, right? Not much we can do. As you can see now, the thrust is reduced almost to idle to maintain that speed, 173 knots. So we are not burning much fuel right now, 420 kilograms of fuel per hour per engine, which is then 850 kilograms on both engines per hour, which is really good.
2,500.
So this is 2,500 feet radio altimeter to the terrain, so we are 2,500 feet above the terrain right now. Now we are approaching 7 miles to the runway. IMC conditions. So as we are roughly now 2,000 feet, I'm going to set gear down, arm the speed brake and reduce our speed to flap 15 speed. So gear down, flap 15 is there, speed brake is armed. Now we need a little bit more of thrust to maintain this descent. And as we approach 5 miles to the runway, usually they want us to maintain at least 160 to 4 miles. But this is enough speed to select flaps 30. So we are approaching 4 miles, we can go down to flaps 30. Reduce the speed to 160. And as we are now 4 miles to the runway, we reduce to our VREF speed of 154. Okay, and we can do the landing checklist. The landing checklist says engine start switches continue, speed brake armed, landing gear down 3 green, flaps 30 green light, landing checklist complete. We are going to cross now 1000 feet stable, and you can see that we have the airport ahead of us. Okay, so I'm going to use this camera here for landing. Actually, it's not a really good camera. I'm going to do like this. Yeah, it's more natural. Okay, I'm selecting now the auto throttle to off. And I'm selecting the autopilot to off. And here we are. We continue following the flight director.
500. 400. 300. Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue. We are a little bit fast. We can close thrust levers.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Idle reverse is fine. I still have the problem with my brakes, not the brakes, my rudder here, because my chair, it moves. Okay, so 80 knots, 60 knots, we can go manual brakes, take the reverse out and take the left here on the planned something 3, right? Something 3. Charles de Gaulle traffic, Ryanair 5 Charlie Foxtrot on the ground, runway 27 right. We are vacating left and crossing 27 left. Yeah, Zulu 3, we continue down. On Kilo 3 here to cross the runway. Okay, now we cross the runway, a couple of things can be done. Landing lights off, turn off lights off. Strobo lights off. Okay, we need to take a right here on Delta, so I'm going to reduce our speed to 10 knots to do this left turn here on Delta. We can also retract flaps and speed brake. Left here on Delta, there is a bridge right here. We are going to be over this bridge. Oops. Wrong taxi here. Yeah, let's hope it doesn't break the airplane, this bridge. Okay, so as we continue, auto brake to off, transponder to standby, just to make sure it is on standby. Yes. Transponder on transponder. This is Delta Alpha. We still go straight. We need to find now November to go down. Nobody says anything during my approach and landing. I think you didn't like, guys. I have to reduce a little bit of my graphics settings. I have some stutters on the departure and on arrival, which are not nice. Something that we can do today is single engine taxi, so because of this, oh, and the engine start switch can go to auto as well. So I'm going to start the APU, and then we can do a single engine taxi. Yep. And meanwhile, what is the gate position again? Charlie, I really don't remember, so I'm going to make this turn and then we check on the airport chart which stand we are going to. We have to do a zigzag here, right, left. Eight knots ground speed is good enough for those turns. And we go outside the main apron here. We take the next to the right. We don't want to go to this apron. We are going to the next one. Okay, while we go to the next one, let's check again what is our parking position on the airport. We need to go stands. It's on Bravo. Bravo 06 or 08. 04, 06 or 08. Something like this. Okay. Bravo 04, 06 or 08. So here we go to Bravo. And Bravo 4. Which is good. So that's the one we are going to do. Request show me this spot and activate. That's what I need. So let's see to the right. Oh yeah, that is the spot that we are going, which makes sense. Okay, so the spot is there. We are going to make a right turn here on November Bravo 1. Little bit of thrust, not too much, because we want to do this turn around 10 knots. Here we go. Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport is full of roundabouts. It's really tricky to taxi here in Paris Charles de Gaulle. Try it online on VATSIM or Ivao, just like I'm doing. But today there is no ATC, so we take the ones that are indicated on the chart, but sometimes to follow ATC instruction here is a mess. It's really bad. So the first taxiway to the left, or the first apron to the left, is not the one that we are looking for. We want to cross the bridge, and once we cross the bridge, then we take left on Echo. That's what we are looking for. Okay, let's go up here. We take the APU generator on the bus, and as our last turn will be to the left, we are going to shut down the right engine. Okay, so right engine shut down, and we'll have master caution really soon related to the electrical and hydraulic for this engine. So low oil pressure, master caution electrical, that is checked, is because of our engine shut down to do single engine taxi here. Really soon we are going to have another master caution with hydraulics. Let's look here on the left side. This is the apron, the one that we don't want to go. A little bit of thrust on the right engine only. Okay, this is the other master caution that I was talking to you about. So if you see on the other side is hydraulic, because of the hydraulic related to the engine that we just shut down. So we can cancel again, and we can continue our taxi. So this is again some bridges that we have here in this airport. Yeah, so we are crossing the bridges again, left and right. And after the bridges is that our left turn. Microsoft Flight Simulator, weird ground, moving the plane all around. Here we go, a little bit more of thrust. Usually this is downhill in Paris, if I'm not mistaken. And here it's coming the left turn that we need to do. No more messages, no more comments on this live stream. Let me take a look. Right now we have 5 people watching this live stream. Not too much, I was expecting more, to be fair with you guys. And here we go. Left turn on Echo. This is Fox November 2. This is going to be Echo. And the next right to join the apron. Here we are. We landed, we have now 3,400 kilos of fuel, which is quite common for those short sectors and also on the 737. Full of alternates around, full of good airports around, so it's not a big issue. Here we are, the next right turn, and then we'll be approaching the gate. Idle thrust, because we have 16 knots now. With only one engine, the speed will reduce drastically. Yeah, already 15 without touching the brakes. Fonseca, what you can do to maintain the alignment during taxi? Okay, so actually each plane is a little bit different. Okay, but basically what you have to do is when you are centered, okay, let me just take this taxiway here on the right. I will show you. Once you are centered, you want to see the taxiway. Let me just stop here, and I'm going to show you, Bruno, this. I want to see the taxiway crossing on the corner of my navigation display here. Okay, so let me try to take this to a center line here. So many taxiways here, but let me see if I can show you the center line here in the middle. I will try to take the middle one. Okay, I'm going to try to take this middle one here. Okay, so now I'm off, so I'm going to come back to this place. Oh, it was not enough. Sorry, Bruno, maybe I can do it here on our parking position. I just have to find my marshaller. Where is my marshaller? I think this position is a little bit off. Let me take the outside. Ah, my marshaller is here on the right. Sorry, on the left. Okay, so I need to take this airplane all the way down here and go back to our final parking position. But basically you keep on the navigation display itself the line align with the outer side of the navigation display. Okay, Waze, hello Waze, how are you, man? Yeah, you arrive at the end, but it's not a big deal. Okay, that is the marshaller. I'm doing it wrong again. Going to add some thrust here to complete this maneuver. Okay, here we have the marshaller. Taxi light going off. Let's follow the marshaller instruction. It's telling us to go right. Here we go, a little bit right. Now it tells us to go straight ahead. Very soon it's going to tell us to go a little bit left. You see, a little bit left because it was aligning our tail. So we can go a little bit left to align him with our outer side of the navigation display, which is right now. Now we just go straight ahead, a little bit to the left. A little bit to the left. and we can go and stop here. Idle thrust. I know that the APU is on the bus because we are already single engine, so we set the parking brake. Engine number 2 start lever to cut off. Then we go here, we keep one fuel pump for the APU. Seat belts off. Hydraulic panel off. Packs on, isolation valve open, APU bleed on. Anti-collision light, we are going to take it off. Then here in the middle, flight directors to off. We take the VST off. Terrain was supposed to be off long time ago, like the weather radar. My mistake, I keep them on. And our transponder, we switch it to 2000, and then we take it to standby. And that's it. During this time, something is happened at the bottom of the airplane. So people are taking the wheel shocks to set. Okay. And then we do the shutdown checklist. Shutdown checklist. It states, oh, it's too slow today. Fuel pumps, we have one pump on. Probe heat is in auto. Hydraulic panel is set. Flap up, no lights. Parking brake so far is on. We are going to release it really soon. Engine start levers cut off. Weather radar off. Shutdown checklist complete. The next step is to call GSX while I take my camera again and we request the boarding. So as we go outside, we are going to see that they are going to deplane our aircraft really soon. So as the parking brake is set, we can go back inside the plane again and release our parking brake. Okay, parking brake is released at this time. Canal Me Gusta RN. Cordial bom dia, comandante. Bom dia, obrigado pela presença. Então, aqueles que não conseguem acompanhar por causa do inglês, em alguns dias, o YouTube vai fazer a tradução automática do meu conteúdo aqui, da minha voz, com legendas em inglês, e aí vocês podem fazer a tradução automática para o português, tá? Então, para aqueles que querem acompanhar em português, esperem aí uns 2 ou 3 dias, vocês vão ter a tradução aí inteira da live. Beleza? So guys, thank you so much for your support during this live stream. We did Amsterdam, Paris, Charles de Gaulle with the 737 PMDG 800. I'm going to keep bringing you more tutorial videos related to the 73 until we have the 777 from PMDG for this simulator, and then I'm going to bring you content about the 777, which is the airplane that I currently fly in real world. So you will notice that the flow on the airplane will run much more smooth because is the airplane that I'm currently flying, is the airplane that I really know by heart by now. Okay, so to finish this flight, we were supposed to have here another bridge on the front door. It's not there, but anyway, they are offloading the airplane. They are offloading cargo baggage. You see, they are offloading the cargo baggage. So that's it. Let's assume that all passengers, they are out, because when all passengers are out, there are a couple of things that we can do here on this airplane. Okay, first we can turn off the inertial system. We can turn off the emergency exit lights. We can turn off the window heat. We can request some ground power and take packs and blitz off. So let's go to our FMC and request here our ground power. Okay, so they are going to connect the ground power. As soon as they connect the ground power and we see the ground power available light here, we take them on. At this time we can shut down the APU. As we shut down the APU, the fuel pump for the APU also goes off. Everything else looks okay for me. I don't think that we are missing anything. So at this time we can do what we call secure checklist, okay? So Microsoft Flight Simulator checklists. My sim is really slow today. I have to work on this. And secure checklist. So the IRS are off. Emergency lights. You see, something is going on. IRS off, emergency lights off, window heat off, and packs are off. So the secure checklist is complete. And here we are. Maybe is the GSX that is consuming a lot of information. So what I can do, I can restart. So maybe that's going to help. And if you really want to shut down the entire airplane, a couple of things that we have to do now. Okay, so the first step is to take the ground power to off. As we take ground power to off, we can even release the ground power. Okay, and the last step, navigation lights to off, or the position lights to off. When everything is off on the plane, we can even take the battery switch to off, and the airplane is completely powered off. As you can see outside, we are back at cold and dark state at this Ryanair 737-800 registration, Echo India, Echo Mike India. Guys, once again, thank you so much for your support today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.